What's with all this weird activity in North American airspace?
What is going on?
Well, I can tell you that I got a call from OSD to inform me that an F-16 using an AIM-9 missile had shot down an octagonal structure over Lake Huron.
What's with all this weird activity in North American airspace?
Interesting. This is kind of unusual that these pilots saw different things.
Yeah, not even the pilots apparently were really able to identify what they saw. On Thursday, the U.S. defense officials sent F-35 fighter jets up to try to figure out what this object was that was flying around near Alaska. Those pilots, we have learned, have given very conflicting accounts of what they actually experienced, with some pilots saying that the object interfered with the plane's sensors, other pilots saying that they didn't really experience that, other pilots saying that when they looked at the object, they could identify no identifiable propulsion system, and they did not know how it was actually staying in the air, cruising at that altitude of about 40,000 feet. So this is all added to the Pentagon's wariness of describing in more detail what this object actually is until they can get more information through the debris that they are recovering right now.
Wait, what? Some pilots said what?
With some pilots saying that the object interfered with the plane's sensors. With some pilots saying that the object interfered with the plane's sensors.
Other pilots saying that when they looked at the object, they
could identify no identifiable propulsion system, and they did not know how it was actually staying in the air, cruise. Other pilots saying that when they looked at the object, they could identify no identifiable propulsion system, and they did not know how it was actually staying in the air, cruise.
Things are getting weird. Was this a manned aircraft? Now, I know they said it was unmanned, but how do you determine that? And if they're really confident that it's an unmanned aircraft, I wonder, are they sending unarmed soldiers on the ground at the crash site? Are they going to pull up on green men who are bumping mumble rap?
I got a drugs and I got a drug, they talking a ticket. Bitches, they stare at my pants and be like, but what's on the bridges?
Are the little green men going to pop out of the craft and say, take me to your leader, Grand Pappy Don? That is possible. They could come out of the aircraft and say, take me to your leader. Not the one wearing Depends, the other one wearing Depends. The one that you call Trump. Trending on Twitter today, Civil War, Project Bluebeam, and China. Good times before the Super Bowl. But seriously, could it be Project Bluebeam?
Year 2024, a global event will alter the course of mankind's future. The world will stand witness to a massive alien invasion. Thousands of projected holographic alien warships will blanket the skies, sending people into a global panic. Real military crafts within the holograms will inflict actual damage to the surrounding areas to sell the gimmick. And as a result of the ensuing human chaos, a one-world...
You don't think it's possible? Take a look at this holographic display that was used at Madison Square Garden.
What you're seeing here is Project Bluebeam, high-level advanced holographic projection. You could say in 4D, you can't touch them, but they seem very lifelike, very real. And this is in a stadium. Everyone's filming it. You can see it right there. I think China, for the new year, had the dragons go around the big tower. I'll try and find that clip at some point. But for those of you who are not aware, this is the type of technology that they're releasing on the public now. Imagine what the military and the government have. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to do a hoax or some sort of world hoax to scare us into giving up our freedoms and security. And they'll protect us as long as we release our freedoms and our rights. And they'll have more control and more surveillance over us. So we'll have much more of an Orwellian society.
If that's what private industry has, who knows what the government has? We saw lasers beaming through the atmosphere. Allegedly, this was in Hawaii from a Chinese satellite. Is it a psyop or prelude to war? I have no idea. It feels like there's a lot of surveillance going on. I used to play a video game called StarCraft.
Today we're going to be talking about beginner scouting. So we're going to try and give you guys a fundamental building block to get to that level where you're seeing everything on the map, you're recognizing everything your opponent's doing, and you know perfectly how to respond. Today is number 1, map control, so you're never surprised by anything. Number 2, scouting at the start of the game and recognizing if your opponent's doing a one base all-in attack. Kicking off with that first most important fundament of good scouting. It's not actually actively looking in your opponent's base, but it's setting up a map control so you're not surprised by anything.
And in the beginning of the video game, there's the cloud of war. You don't know on the map where anybody is. So everybody to start the video game would take a drone, like a Zerg drone or a whoever drone.
Now in this case, I'm using Zerglings, but if you're Terran or Protoss, you can use any unit that is cheap and expendable, whether it be a spare worker or a...
They would take the drone and move it around the map. They knew the enemy would eventually eliminate the drone, but the drone would uncover the fog of war, and you would know, at least for a moment, where your enemy was. I heard rumors that China had to take down an unidentified object as well.
As you mentioned, Tom, Chinese authorities say they detected an unidentified flying object near a port city in the northern Shandong province and were considering shooting it down.
What does this mean? I don't know. I don't think this is a psyop. There's many other ways that are harder to prove if you want to distract people from the E-Island list that might be coming out, for example. What can common people do? You got to demand that politicians speak. The more they speak, the harder it is to lie. Demand video evidence. When we have video evidence, it's harder for them to lie. They're going to claim classified information. And what American people should say is, I'm fine with that, and we're going to impeach your ass and get the hell out of office, all of y'all, if you don't tell us what the hell's going on. We had a Chinese spy balloon eliminated last week. UFO eliminated over Alaska the other day. Another UFO eliminated over Canada the other day. Part of Montana's airspace now closed for Department of Defense activities. What is going on here? Something is going on here.